Would you like to feel more productive, learn faster, remember more, feel less stressed, less anxious, and overall happier? Well, today I'm going to show you how to do this. Let's jump straight into it. Okay, so let's talk about the flow state. This is a shorter video. If you want to watch the longer one, there's going to be a link in the descriptions where I go more in depth. Let's jump straight into it. So, flow is defined as the optimal state of human consciousness. It's when everything flows, you feel like you're in the zone. And when do we enter flow? Well, here we have the challenge skill graph. So here we have our skills. This is the challenge. If our skills are high, but the challenge is low, we're going to feel bored. If the challenge is high, but our skills are low, we're going to feel anxious. So if we want to be here in the flow channel, that's where we enter the flow. When the challenge and skill, when they match each other. Okay, benefits of flow. There are many benefits of flow. You boost your productivity, you learn faster, you remember more, you get more creative, you feel less stressed, less anxious, and overall your life satisfaction is higher. So it's good to be in flow. And there is one common misconception. A lot of people believe that flow is only for some selected individuals. However, flow is for anyone. You don't have to be a top athlete. As we see here, if we have the right match for our skill and our challenges, anyone can get into the flow. We're going to talk more about that later. Flow state is a cycle, also something that is not known. 4 parts: struggle, release, flow, recovery. I go more in depth in the longer video. Example of this, so the struggle, let's say writing a report. So the struggle is we look at the blank piece of paper, we don't know what to write. Then we have the release. We let go, we start writing, the words start flowing, we enter the flow state, and at the end we have recovery, which is necessary for the flow state. Again, we're going to talk about that later. There are 22 flow triggers, which are ways how flow state can be triggered. You don't need all of them to get into flow. 3 to 5 should be enough, and we can engineer our life based on them. Here, if you want to look, you can stop the video. These are the 22 flow triggers. The more you have them, the better and the easier it's for us to get into the flow state. On the other hand, we have the flow blockers. They prevent us from getting into flow. Some of the distractions. Important note here that when we get distracted during the day, if it's a text message or something, it can take us up to 15 minutes to get back. So really distractions are taking away a lot from us. We got mental distractions, physical distractions, or blockers, environmental blockers. Again, we want to avoid as many of these as possible. Okay, let's get into some tools and into some ways how to get into flow. So the first thing that is important is to know what are our flow inducing activities. So when do you get into flow? So you can go here, you can answer these questions. For example, what activities make you lose track of time? When do you feel really immersed in something, alive, fulfilled, when everything just flows? So answer these questions. When you do that, or after you do that, ask yourself, how can you bring these activities more in your life? Because then you're going to experience more flow. How can you re-engineer them? Difficult word. Okay, that's important. Now, recovery. So we mentioned that it's necessary for flow. It is really super important. There's 2 types of recovery: passive, social media, TV; active, which is the good recovery. We replenish our energy. It's better to do the active one. Here there are some examples, sleep. If there's one magic pill, it's sleep. We got some yoga, laughing, cold exposure, massage, a lot of different ways how to recover. Again, if you want, this document is going to be available to download, so feel free to look at these and you can incorporate them in your life. Then we got environmental engineering. So it's much easier to get into flow when our environment is clean, when our workspace is clean, when our room is clear. So we want to make sure that we do that. Also, we want to eliminate all distractions, so you can mute notifications, silence your phone, or put it in a different room. And here, the big point is that we want to make the things that we do want to do, we want to make them easy, and the things we don't want to do, we want to make them hard. Here, if you want, there's a full page, full tool about this, where we talk about the environmental engineering. So again, feel free to go down and use this tool as much as you want. Then we have next one, lower friction and clear goals. friction is the most powerful force in the universe. There's a big difference if we want to play guitar and it's deep down in our garage, or if it's here in front of me. It's much easier to play it if the friction for me to get started is low. And also setting super clear goals. So there's a big difference if we tell ourselves, okay, I want to read, or to set clear goals, I want to read 10 pages of this book before going to bed, which is around 10 p.m. Big difference there. Next one, forgot to mention here, what is the next action step? So we can use this tool to always know what we should do next. That's how we lower the friction. So let's say I'm working on something and I constantly want to ask myself, what is the next thing that I need to do? And make that thing small. That's going to make it easier for you to keep going. Elimination. So our brains are not for storing ideas, they're for having them. I flipped it a bit, but you get the point. We don't want to keep our to-do list in our head. We want to write those things down, and we want to eliminate as much as possible. Not all work is created equal, as you probably know. We have the admin work, the packages, the logistics, emails, versus we have the high value deep work, relationships, spending time with our family, friends, and so on. So we want to do as much of this as possible and eliminate the rest. How to eliminate? Well, first, think, why does this need to be done? If it doesn't need to be done, don't do it. So first principles. The fact that everyone else is doing it doesn't mean that you have to. Say no. Nothing wrong with saying no. You can also adopt the hell yeah versus no mindset. Really like that one. Again, there's a tool for that. Deathbed logic. If you were dying, would you wish you spent time on this or not? Then you can decide if you want to do this at the moment. And then we have the Eisenhower matrix. Again, you can go through this. It divides tasks in 4 categories. Based on that, we can decide if we do want to do this or we don't. And also important point, it's probably not going to just take a minute. It usually takes more than a minute. So always think twice if you want to do something. Our time is limited. Personal vision, my favorite. If you don't have your personal vision yet, download this, go do this. Super important, huge flow trigger. Then we got time blocking. You probably have heard about it. Again, full tool. If you want to go more deep into this, go click here. Know thyself. We already mentioned a bit about this, that we want to know what our flow activities are. So here we want to know, are we a morning person? Are we a night person? Then it's going to depend on, do we start with the hard tasks or do we start with the easy ones and get to the hard ones later? So it's important to know our tendencies, when we feel good, when we don't. Pomodoro, simple, and it works. 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of break. After 4 Pomodoros, we get a longer break. Next tool, journaling, super important for flow. It's a flow meta trigger. I put together a lot of journaling prompts here. However, you don't need any fancy ones. Just take a piece of paper, write, and reflect on, your life, what just happened. And last but not least, make it fun and introduce game into your life. Because what is life when it's not fun? We want to make it as much fun as possible. Then also we're going to get more into flow. We're going to be more productive. It's going to be fun. It's not going to feel like work. So try to make it fun if possible. And again, there is a lot of tips on how to make what we're doing fun in the tool. And that's it. So if you want to get more content about this, feel free to join our group. There's a long link in the descriptions. It might still be free or it might be paid. Not sure. At 80 members, we're capping our group and it's going to be a monthly subscription. So if you haven't joined yet, go for it. I guess you don't have as much time. But I hope this video was helpful. If you want to know more, feel free to subscribe and I'm going to look forward to seeing you in the next video.